Welcome back to Rocky Mountain Prepper. I'm Bellum. Today I want to talk to you about something important. I think the time has come that everyone who sees what's coming should be getting out of the big cities. I know this is not going to be easy. You may have jobs there. You may have friends. But let's be honest, these cities are death traps. You can't grow food. You can't procure your own water. If power goes out, there will be no fuel to bring food in. There'll be no water flowing. In these big cities, you have millions of people who are going to be hungry and thirsty. And if you have supplies, they're going to be coming for you. You may have 2-3 years worth of food. Good for you. I applaud you. But how are you going to resupply? When the balloon goes up, or when SHTF, Teotihuacan, you pick the acronym, when it happens, how are you going to get more food? You'll use up yours. Plus, if you're living in these big cities, how are you going to protect it? Most of the big cities have at least very strict restrictions on guns. Okay, you can protect your stuff without guns. You can use knives, bows, swords, and spears even. But how are you going to stop 20, 30, 50 people or more from kicking down your door and taking everything you have? You need to get out. And you need to get out now. You need to be somewhere that you can grow 90% of your food. The rest of your food can be made up from hunting small game or raising animals like chickens, rabbits, anything like that. But you can't do that in a big city. I have heard a lot on YouTube people saying, oh, if you live in a big city, that's okay. You can just start growing food in a container garden on your porch or on your patio, your little balcony. First of all, that'll be a red flag to everybody around when something happens. They'll see you having a tomato plant or beans or whatever small little thing you have. And they'll be coming to take the little that you are growing and find all your other supplies. If you live in a big city, you will die. Not just from what I've just stated, but think about if you manage to secure your apartment or small house, whatever happens to be in these major cities. You secure it. Okay, no one knows you have it. Good for you. You've mastered operational security. When the people start dying from starvation, what are you going to do? That's a lot of diseases in a very short period of time that you would have to deal with. And they're not just going to be all going to the hospital and dying. They'll be dying on the street. They'll be dying in their homes. There's no way to clean that up. You have to get out. I know some of you might be in suburbs. That's a little bit better. At least you have somewhat of a backyard. It's not easy to convert a backyard into a garden. I know. I've done it. If you do live in the suburbs, sure, you could do a good amount of your food production, your food needs. But there's a problem with that. You won't be able to supply enough. Most suburban lots are much less than 1/8 of an acre. That won't get you enough food. Even if you destroy your entire backyard and turn it into one big garden. And you may be thinking that that'll be enough. You can plant the rows close. Okay, I do that. I plant my rows really close because I want to get more out of it. The problem with that is you're not doing it. You may think that those survival seed gardens are the answer. Those survival seed vaults. Keep it in your freezer, you'll be good. No, you won't. Most of the food in there is nutrient deficient. Yeah, it may taste pretty good. You get a lot of stuff like watermelons, which don't grow everywhere, and lettuce, which doesn't give you any nutrients. The seeds for onions, I know from experience, you don't harvest the first year of onion. Unless you just want green onions. If you want the nice big bulbs like you see in the stores, you have to take those seeds and let them go. Let the plant grow, and then you let it die. Then, the next year, you will get a reasonably sized onion, probably about the size of a golf ball. Okay, that's a good onion. They actually taste really good that way. Nice and tender and juicy. I like them that way. Then you save some of those off. Third year, you get decent sized onions. That's pretty much how they do it. It's not the first year. It's not the second year. It's the third year. Okay, wait 3 years for big onions. Not a problem. You know how to get carrots to propagate? I do. I've done it. I've been doing it. Have you been practicing gardening? If you live in the suburbs, probably not. If you live in a small town, you might not have. But I guarantee there's going to be at least one person in that small town who does a good garden that can help you. They'll give you advice. If you're living in a town that is less than 60,000 people, your population density will be low enough that, God forbid, something happened, whether it's invasion or the complete actual collapse, the community would be more likely to band together because more people know each other. But you can't just do any small town. You have to actually do some homework. If you're going to move, please do it now. But find a good spot. You want to be at least 50 to 100 miles away from a major city. Crime is going to be a lot lower there. And when the balloon does go up, you will have a lot of people not being able to make it to your town. What I mean by this is, on average, people walk 2.2 miles per hour when fully fed. That's a statistic from the military. Any more than that is considered a forced march. You walk 2.2 miles per hour. You walk for maybe 5 hours a day before you're too worn out to continue. I've tried. I go backpacking. 5 hours a day is about average for people who have not trained. That's a good thing, though. People who are starving are going to go a lot less distance. If you're 100 miles from a big city, in the Rockies, it'd be Denver. East Coast, well, that's almost the entire East Coast. West Coast, you got LA, San Francisco, San Diego, all these mega cities. Okay, so you go 100 miles from them. The people would take too long to get there before they starve to death. You don't have to mess with the hordes of wandering people unless they're finding food along the way. And honestly, they still won't get to you. I live in the Rockies. That means my home is hard to get to. Because you have to go uphill. Humans are lazy. Humans will sit there and say, I could go to that mountain up there, and maybe there's someone who has a lot of food. Or I can go down there to the Great Plains where I've heard on the news all the farms are. I've heard that farms are where food comes from. I've heard of farm to table. I'm going to go down there and try my luck. I'm not going to climb the mountain. Why would I? Why would I climb a mountain to try to get food? People are lazy. Take advantage of that. That's why I live in the Rockies. And if I do see them coming, I can go higher up in the mountains and disappear so that they can't get me. Because I don't want to fight. I don't like the idea of fighting my own countrymen. Yeah, I'll leave some food behind, enough to get them to the next poor soul. They won't think it's food. They'll see a block of pemmican. They'll scratch their head and walk away. I might leave some MREs. At least then they'll know, hey, this thing says it's a meal ready to eat. And then they'll fight over that, though. I'll leave a few. Yeah, that's a good idea. You have to be ready to bug out. Because guess what? They're going to be coming for you. They're going to come for all your stuff. You got guns? They'll kill you and take your guns. Ammo is not as plentiful as people think. You will eventually run out. You got bows? Okay. Go John Rambo on them. Go Native American. Yeah, hit them like the Comanches. Hopefully you have a horse for that one. Hit and run. Disappear. Okay, now you're a murderer. Because that event that everyone thought was permanent? Oh, I guess it isn't. Now you have to deal with the law. I'd rather run and hide. Live off of food stores I have, and then find out, okay, guess what? It wasn't permanent. Society came back with a vengeance. I'm not going to be held liable for murder. All those people who were rampaging across the countryside, the ones that survived, guess what? They will be. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be part of the murderers. They'll ask me, what did you do when they came to your house? I'll say, I ran for the hills. I went farther up my mountain. They'll ask me why, and I'll tell them flat out, I didn't want to kill anybody. I sure can. I was in the military. I know how. I've done it on a battlefield, but this is not a battlefield I want. This is not like I was ordered to go capture a village or take a hill or go in and rescue some people and end up having to kill all the guards to rescue them in a foreign country. Nah. This is my own home country. This is America. I'm not going to kill someone because they're trying to take my food. I'm just going to disappear, leaving enough for them to get up to go at least a day. Now, you guys have to start gardening now. Get out of the big cities, get to the smaller communities, and start gardening. I already have my garden set. I'm doing this now because, guess what? Food prices are going up. The flooding in the Midwest, we're going to be getting very expensive to buy corn. Now you may be saying, who cares about corn? I just won't buy corn. What's in your gas? What's in the gasoline you put into your car? Ethanol. Where do they get the ethanol? They get it from corn nowadays. It's actually far cheaper to get it from actual cattails and brew that up. The Roman army figured that out really quick, how to make alcohol from cattails and turn that into a form of moonshine. They did it all the time. It was part of their ration. They had alcohol for a ration. We could be using cattails. Cattails at every waste treatment center. It cleans up the water anyway. We should be doing that. But no. We use corn for ethanol in our fuel tanks. Okay. Average year, that's not a big deal. We grow enough. Guess what? They still haven't planted. Time I'm making this video, they still haven't planted the corn. They don't plant in the next week, and they're still flooded. Guess what? The corn harvest won't happen. Okay. Doesn't affect you, you say? You'll just pay more at the pump? You don't mind that? Okay. Well, what do chickens eat in commercial farms? Corn. What do pigs eat? What do cows eat in the feedlots? Corn and corn. Unless you're paying more money for the grass-fed organic beef and free-range chickens, not even the free-range chicken because they still give them feed. Unless you're just eating beef and it's free-range beef, or you're hunting, you're consuming a corn byproduct because the animals eat the corn. So prices are going to go up. Having a garden, it's like having a money tree out back. Thanks for the reference. That reference is actually thanks to Kyle from Survival Prepping for Normal People. Check out his channel. I like it. It's a really good one. And he did say that exactly that. Having a garden is like having a money tree. I can't remember the name of the title, but of that video, but trust me, it saves money in the long run. You have to practice this skill anyway. If you don't garden now, when everything falls apart, you're going to starve because you don't know what your soil needs. Yeah, you may have a wonderful lawn, but how good is the soil underneath that? Do you every year say spray chemicals to get it green? In that case, your soil sucks. I know some people that sit there and actually put cow manure, a thin layer of cow manure on their soil every year. Okay, that'll actually work. Can you heat your home in the winter without electricity? You say, oh yeah, I've got a gas furnace. Well, guess what? It runs on electricity more than gas. Because the furnace may kick on, but the fan that blows the heat is electric. Get yourself a wood-burning stove. Oh, that's right, you can't because you're still in the big city. And they don't let you put a fireplace in your apartment. Better get out before winter. Because if things get really bad, it may save your life. Every year you hear about power outages lasting a couple days in the big cities and them finding elderly people frozen to death because they couldn't get out of their home. Well, grand solar minimum's happening too, people. That means we're going to have colder, snowier, wetter winters, which means you're going to freeze to death in your home if you don't have a fireplace. I don't recommend pellet stoves. I say get a wood-burning stove because pellet stoves require electricity to work a fan to get the heat going enough. In a wood-burning stove, you can buy pellets. You can burn them in there if you get it going. It'll be a huge mass of coals. Then what do you do with your ash? That's where your garden comes in, because there's a lot of good nutrients in the ash. I put it on all my gardens every year, all throughout the winter. That way, come spring, the pH is right around where I need it for beans, peas, and potatoes. Oh yeah, and my onions and my carrots. A little bit of an addiction there. I love my carrots. You come for my carrots, I will put you in the grave. I'll bury you in my garden. Use you as fertilizer. But enough joking aside, you need to get out. You need to get to a place where you can have a wood-burning stove. You can grow your own garden. You need to get out now. Go now while times are still good. This is just like in the book of Genesis, Pharaoh's dream of the 7 cows, the 7 fat cows and 7 lean cows. Yeah, we're in the set time of plenty, the 7 years. Maybe, so what if it's been longer? God's been nice to us. We need to get to where we can actually produce our own food. Pastor Joe Fox is known for saying, "Come out of her, my people." He's talking about get out of the big cities. Viking preparedness, great, another great one. Another good one for a lot of good information on how to do stuff is Bear Independent. He's a good Christian Bible-loving individual. I recommend his channel as well. He says to get out. Everywhere I go, I see signs saying you're going to die in the big cities. I've been to a big city recently, and it wasn't pleasant. It's not a pretty sight. You don't want to be there. You need to get out. Why would you live in those kind of conditions? They are getting bad. It's not in the news because they don't want people getting scared off. But please, get out. Get someplace you can have a garden. Have a wood-burning stove so you can provide heat. You need to get out. Please. I hope you all are well. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you get all of the updates. Goodbye for now, and God bless.